Hi, Super Blood Wolf Moon. You were nice while you lasted. If a person is 6 feet tall, then they can reach their wingspan from this wall and that wall. I'm painfully shy of 6 feet. I've tried to stretch myself out every day. I bet this guy can do it with his hands flat against the wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm 5'11" and 3/4. Maybe if I grow out my fingernails. How are you doing that?
Just train your mind. You got a lot of products, man.
It's gotta be concise though.
Huh?
You gotta know your business's story. You have to know the story of your product.
Got an illegal product. So.
The story of my product is every time a project becomes a product, I become depressed.
What if I lose that spark? Because if I don't have that spark that kind of brought it to life in my head, I won't be able to put it into my work. It won't.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be able to retrace your thought.
Yeah. I will literally think through my thought and articulate into a clean sounding, well written, And a lot of times it's almost conversational. I am not in college to learn. I am in college to get a degree. Learning is something I do with my free time.
Yeah. You and me, we're better at learning off the books. Do you ever feel like when you're working on a serious project, especially if it's something independent, I think, that once you get to the point where the process becomes product, even if you're relieved to get it done, there's kind of this post-stimulus depression.
Sometimes, yes, which is why I try to have a lot of projects. So when I'm done with the project, I have another project to fall back on.
You gonna go into business with me or what?
Business. I like business. So, yep.
Any kind of business.
Any kind of
You
business.
don't even care.
Yeah.
I'd rather see you in the creative world, not the DC pseudo-politics scene. The young and trendy folk.
So, you got our message for them?
My message for the people of DC?
Mm-hmm.
You think you're woke, but you're sleepwalking.
Hey babe, what are you bringing for Netflix and chill? How about Badcock and more? People who get hung up on something being unfair will often allow that to snowball in their mind into an absolute monster.
Yeah, I know.
And it's one of the things that becomes irrational the most quickly
Yeah.
of any kind of frustration.
Remember that you told that story about that lady who's so angry at the guy for cheating her
that she drove 9 hours in
Yeah,
pants.
yeah.
But it's not always about vengeance, and that's where I'm saying it's not always about the other person.
Yeah.
Very often it's about you construct an idea that the world is supposed to be a certain way, and that's what equity looks like, and when that imbalance gets shifted, you just go psycho.
Yeah.
And that's why you got to establish a rational sense that life is not fair, which I know you know.
Like, I know it as a fact.
You know it as a fact. But when you insulate yourself in ways that allow life to be equitable and sensible a lot of the time, then the frustration of losing control when someone else takes it away feels like they've just intruded on your life. Like they've just taken a part of you.
They now own me.
Exactly. Again, there's inequitable distributions, and you root against that. That's what we're doing when we watch sports. We're hoping that equity falls in a way that favors the traits that we want to see, honored.
Yeah.
By the same token, in reality, we have our set of values we bring to the table. We don't know how the lotto machine of life is going to shuffle and spit it back out.
Yeah.
But we hope that it shuffles it well. We hope it doesn't just clump the deck together and hand you back a shitty card.
Yeah.
But when it does, you got to use that as an opportunity to better yourself. So you're still going with the flow.
Yeah.
When you get screwed, that is the best opportunity to separate your own autonomy from the way the system treats you.
Yeah.
I've been super sick this week. I still look like hell, sound like hell, but I've been making it through, and I have a presentation today which I've hardly prepared for, which is really saying something, because that was potentially one of my big sources of anxiety, but instead I piled up a ton of other things with the podcast and stuff, which I like being busy with. So I've felt more like I'm in actual production mode and not just presentation mode, which are two very distinct things. Well, at least it hasn't taken too much of my happiness away, and it will be done today. I think I look forward to things being done more than anything else, which is not a great way to go through life.
What was your professor's response to your presentation? What did he have
He
to say?
said, me and the other guy, he said that's exactly how it's supposed to be. So,
You nailed it.
we were the first project presentations, so we didn't know exactly what it's supposed to be. So, to set the bar, kind of, that feels good.
So basically, you nailed it.
Yes, exactly. We nailed it.
That's the way to go, man.
That's the way to be.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Awesome. You said you had to look at a brief history of radio.
Yeah.
So did that kind of influence your new look? The George Barris kind of look?
It's like the golden age of radio look.
Oh, yeah.
This is a face made for radio, isn't it?
From the 80s? Yeah.
Perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
The Sex Panther.
Oh, no.
Ladies,
You're killing them.
would you like a ride?
Oh, yeah, they do. You're killing them, man.
You got a big tongue, dude. Sometimes I feel inadequate about my small tongue. Like I won't be able to satisfy a woman.
I'm not part of this discussion.
It's not the dog in the fight, it's the fight in the dog. You're not part of this?
No,
Okay.
I'm not part of this discussion. I'm trying to hold higher my liberty.
Oh.
Yeah.
Guilt is a great driving force.
You see,
Shame.
you understand how liberty policies work. Yeah.
Right. They don't want you talking about your ability to satisfy a woman physically. Only spiritually. I want to be able to talk about the kind of stuff that actually matters. So first I have to talk about memes for an hour. 2 hours this week, actually.
You talk
About the crushes group and this kind of bullshit, so that eventually there will be an audience for the serious topics. I have to entertain just enough to have a platform,
So it will get to a point where people listen to the podcast.
but they have no attention span. Sorry.
You need to slow down on caffeine. You had too much caffeine. That's why you're bulging.
But is that a bad thing?
Nope.
It's only natural. And I'm really flowing right now. I'm writing a movie script while we're working here. So I think it's exactly what I need.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be handwritten, and it's gonna be a real kind of screener for who I would actually want as an employer. It's gonna talk more about what we might consider inner layer qualities than the outer layer.
Oh, a little bit of story branding.
Exactly.
Jim Signorelli should hear about this. He would be impressed.
Jim Signorelli didn't teach me shit.
Oh, Dude.
I knew everything he taught me. See, stuff that resonates with me is stuff that I already know. Oh, he did teach that, didn't he? Damn.
So I pick the old school kind of resume.
Old school? Oh, it's not gonna be old school. It's gonna be new wave.
No, you said
Yeah.
handwritten.
It's gonna be Art Deco. People are gonna say, "Wow, this guy's got balls. This guy stands out. He does what he wants. He doesn't fudge around with his words." That's my goal in life. I want to become one of those people who just says exactly what they mean, and you go, "Oh, he's not being rude. He says what he means." That's Matt. I have to get to a point where I can really stand by everything I say, though. So it's gonna be like a sudden shift. So there's gonna be some people who are like, "What's wrong with Matt?" But I'm gonna be a happier person. I'm gonna learn to say what I mean, and I'm gonna get so good at it that I actually do say what I mean, which currently I'm not even sure I can. Hockey season is over as of last night, and it's about to get really boring up in here. My time for something else might be coming. New office.
I love making people smile. So for me, the magic isn't the trick. The trick is awesome, don't get me wrong. Like, I love magic too. But for me, the best part is like right after the trick, when everyone's freaking out.
Yep.
You can see the smiles on people's faces and the joy and just the wonder and the pure like childish mindset that you get to go into is unreal. And for me, when I say magic is real, but that's the magic. It's that feeling you get, that impossible childish wonder. And for me, like being able to look around every time after I do a trick and seeing that, it's like, that's the stuff.
I think in the perspective of, okay, we're all, like, I'm just as much human as someone in a completely different country who I've never met. But then on the other side, I'm like, wow, this is fascinating. Like, I want to learn about people because they're so different than me. I'm like, okay, well, who's going to be put in my life that I get to learn from, but get to teach at the same time?
Can I get a listen to it? Can I get a watch and listen?
Yeah.
So last night I was in the computer lab until the wee hours of the morning, doing a marathon movie edit. So I was really tired, just wanted to get through today. And I made the mistake of taking a break in the closet at the remote, dead quiet building where I work. And my boss walked in after about 13 minutes. I did not look busy. I'm sure I looked guilty. Though to be honest, there's no true guilt for me in what I was doing. I was fulfilling my duties efficiently. But I'm not measured by productivity. I'm measured by the appearance of busy work. And that illusion was shattered in that moment. And he was confrontational about it. And it was like a really sudden shift in my perception that this current lifestyle is tenable. It was like immediately I'm at odds with the workplace that I rely on for my living. So I don't know how to live at the moment. And every time I hit this point, I have to give up something to make life worthwhile again, to realign my values. Bullshit questions. You know what's funny? Now that it's like established that we're playing a cat and mouse game, me and the boss man, I'm less scared of him. You know what I mean? Like usually I'd be kind of on edge because he's running the show today and nervous about everything, and now it's like, no, there's no more illusion that we're getting along. Like, no, we're at odds with each other. It's a game now.
Like just the habitual practice of doing it every day has made, like, I've actually felt like
But you're talking about actual like fiction writing.
Yeah. Like I'm like, wow, I can actually be a writer now. At this rate, if I'm writing 2 pages every day in like 30, 45 minutes, with the rest of my life, I can like actually write books.
That's amazing.
I'm excited. I started a new one. I don't know if I told you. It's cool. It's kind of similar to what you were talking about, though, like in the way it starts, at least. Like,
In that what it embodies yourself.
yes. Well, it's like it's autobiographical. Just in the beginning, it's like I superimpose my like childhood experience to some degree on a new character.
God. All right, get back to work. I want to get all my most important thoughts out there and then relax.
But then tomorrow there will be new most
Right.
important
There's this
thoughts.
constant,
Right,
unending need
right,
for self-expression.
Good Lord.
When I was a kid, like I would write magazines. They weren't for anybody. I'd write newspapers with like the stats from our front yard sports and like leave it on the neighbor's porch, but not expecting anyone to read it. I would, do all kinds of creative stuff like that. And I was very like I could stick to a schedule and like keep up the output and with nobody making me do it. So like the production schedule is no issue. Like once I'm committed to something, I'm obsessive about it.
Christian athlete events every Tuesday night, and it just resonated with me. It's something filled, Holy Spirit kind of filled me, and oh, that pass. Get it. Get the paper. What the heck? That breeze. Alright guys, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna come in here, we're gonna destroy this bathroom.
I'll fight on boss.
This means war.
Move! Tyson, I know your acting career is struggling a bit, but maybe I can help you come up with a small role.
No. I like big roles.
Big role?
Big roles.
I was recording you mopping.
As the elementary school custodian Tirsa used to say, life is hard.
Oh my gosh.
She was right.
Yeah, it's like I finally just I got a little bit of luck for once. Oh man, it feels good. It's a miracle.
No, it's a mimical.
It's a miracle. Yeah, that's the title. It's all so fitting.
Oh yeah. So when is the coffee house?
What is it?
When is it?
April 13th. The Vine Center will be packed. A captivated audience, if you will,
You're destined
for
to.
my 5-minute short film.
You're destined to be rich, man.
Rich in spirit. All I need is the love and validation of other human beings,
Uh-oh.
even if they're all 19 to 21 years old.
Do you think you're gonna get all the girls following you after that?
They're going to
Right.
want to stay relevant, and this 28-year-old grad student trying to piece back together his emotional damage is really, really relevant these days.
Are you ready for the fame?
The fame always been ready.
All right. You gonna stay humble like you've always been humble?
Yeah, or at least pretend. It's usually an act, kind of like respect. It's more about how you act than how you actually feel. I think I'm kind of a shit.
What are you doing there, man?
What's up?
What are you doing in the presidential seat?
A big game.
What big game?
Liberty versus Virginia Tech, I believe. Sweet 32. No, what do they call it? Terrific 32. The throes of 32. I don't know what the round of 32 is called, but anyway, we're still in it.
As Liberty Gunners, he's a plus 15 from the three-point line in terms of points.
Do whatever we can as the school communication to give you excused absences. We want to facilitate you being there. Professional dress is required. Make sure you have your resume up to date, and it's just a good chance to connect and network with different companies, and you never know when something like that will lead to an opportunity later on, or right now.
It's like, hey, I want to land this job. I want things to work out like this, and it's contingent on other people. And like people that just do their thing, they're the best, man.
Yes, organize them. Line them up for jobs. They'll be so happy. What a load of bullshit.
We'll see. There has been, I can tell you backstage, there's definitely some trash talk going on. I heard the plan to conspire against Jerry. We'll see if it comes to fruition today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to time for our final race. Get on your feet and make some noise. The star is about to start. Let's go! Against all odds, Jerry Falwell takes home the W.
Do you like college?
I do, yeah. It's not anything that I've ever experienced before, obviously. But I like it because I like being able to just, I don't know, meet people who are pursuing what they're passionate about and like what they want to do with their life.
Where dreams come true.
Oh, it's actually...
Am I right?
Dude, yeah!
Yeah, buddy.
I'm processing the potential anxiety of showing up to a big event by being here early before it all starts. And sweeping it.
No, I'm not like I didn't even know.
A really impressive performance here at the Liberty Way just keeps the memes coming. Every time Dan Camille pulls ahead, they find a way to level it back up. As long as you don't give up on your memes.
I love the fact you got him. Good work.
That was pretty cool. Feels good to get like a real shot. You know, like you were acknowledged, and then it just is what it is, you know?
To the mean bean. We're stuck. Oh.
We made it.
35-yard field
goal. Go! All right, have anything to say to the camera?
That one would have been good from 40.
All right.
A lot of people say nobody's knows what I'm going through. If they have depression or something, you go, well, they didn't have the same thing happen, and then maybe yours was more extreme or lighter than theirs, but you both are still having the same feelings.
And the fact that there are some people who have it so abysmally bad all the time, that's fundamentally a philosophical problem. And sometimes, I do need that to put it in perspective.
Look at us, getting philosophical.
That's not even philosophical, man.
I know. But I just mean
that's fundamentals. If it's not necessary for athletes or the infirmed to attend class, but outside of that, we're presuming that it would hurt you academically to not be there, the whole thing is just a motivation system that's been made up with arbitrary rules.
Oh, I think it's dumb.
I needed a 90 on one of my final exams to get an A in that class, which would be straight A's, which I never intended to do. But then I felt like trying. It was a downright insulting test to take. It was written at about a 3rd grade level. Very, very low intelligence questions as well. But so poorly phrased that inevitably you're going to miss a few unless you pour through the book for every exact quote. It really wasn't a learning experience. Except to say, the main takeaway was, these grades are all arbitrary bullshit. And I should never be proud of a good grade or ashamed of a bad grade, unless I really failed myself. I think you're about due for a Mary Kay party.
I'm about to?
Man, she got excited.
You gotta have a Mary Kay party?
So sorry.
That's what I heard her say.
I might just have to call her again and be like, hey, I set up an interview. But I'm trying to give
Yeah,
her
go
more
through the
days.
system, please.
Hey, I don't want to keep showing up and look like an idiot.
You wouldn't want to look at a person who already applied. Every ironic, sort of absurdist type thing like that is always making, I think, a deeper point. And I feel like with the bottle flip and things like it, like the DVD in the corner, that kind of thing, it's like this criticism of the fact that the things we celebrate are so arbitrary so much of the time. Like things that are considered big and meaningful and impactful just really don't matter. What's up, dude?
So, you usually work PowerPoint, right?
Yeah. It's almost embarrassing. Use PowerPoint for everything. I wrote 2 whole comic books using PowerPoint. It's easier for me to find like a backdoor way to manipulate the things I already know than to learn something new.
See,
It's my worst quality.
Never gonna get a shot on that one. Never gonna work.
Oh, really? Hold on. Alright, gotta get out of here.
I think there are a lot of things that are just completely unknown. Like, I don't think we're gonna know everything. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm not gonna say excited to die, but I'm just saying when
There's something
when that happens,
Yeah.
I have lots of questions.
You think there will be a waking up moment on the other side?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
And also, like, because of the experiences that I've gone through, I feel like I've woken up in like so many different ways. Like experiencing like life or death firsthand. I'm just like, that just changes you forever because you're here one moment and then you can't be here the other one.
Yeah. You can't.
Like just think
that's
about that.
possible.
The whole life
Yeah,
or
yeah,
death thing.
right.
Like just think about you not being here.
Right.
Like you're just dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's enough for me to think just that there are people who aren't here, who were
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
That's freaking weird.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
And I
it's
don't
just-
care.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Ah.
this is the world.
You're like, well,
I'm here now.
today,
Yeah.
and that's really all you can focus on.
Like, RJ asked me about he's like, so what have you been doing in IPF? Like, just gave him this like
You're taking
huge
a video
list
and you
of
got that
stuff.
bad mess up.
The what?
Are you taking a video?
Yeah, I take
Oh,
videos
and
of
you got
everything.
like that terrible thing where it hit the wrong note. 'cause it
Oh,
was
I don't care.
low.
I'm not taking it for the sound.
Oh, okay.
Just the vibe.
We
Dude,
got one of
if you
those
take a
in our
rock
house, and it was
and you throw the
terrifying.
rock up in the air, the bat will follow it to the ground.
Really?
Yeah, it's super cool. You can
I've
get
seen
multiple of them
fireflies
to
in
do
a
it.
long time. Oh, there's one.
Dude, that time you kicked my freaking finger.
You let go of the ball.
No, the
Wasn't even
second
close to
time.
kicking
The
your
second
finger.
time.
There's always a lot of depth in art. Every artistic kind of element, there's always depth in it. There's a Russian saying.
You love the sayings.
Oh yeah, I love the sayings
Okay.
because there's always depth in the sayings.
All right.
Truth is not what you believe. Truth is a perspective. How you perceive something. It could be true. It could be a lie. So you understand the saying?
I think I do, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So truth still lies with you.